Hello, hello, my friends. How's it going out there? This is the Greengirlstudios Magic Hour Sunday edition. I'm here live from Asheville with little daughter, Azalea. She's in the background cutting out doll dresses. Max is downstairs playing video games, and Greg is casting pewter, which is normal for this space. Oh, hello, Cecilia. Hello. I thought today that I would show what we've been working on, number one. And we did a lot of casting this week with silver and bronze. And also, I did a lot of waxwork. I'm going to show some of that because, sometimes you get the fever. What that means is that I get hyper focused and I can't stop. Can't stop until the next thing comes up. Or if I take a walk, then I can stop. Hello, Caroline. Hello. Where's everybody coming from today? Last Sunday we had people from New Zealand, where we had some far-flung places, didn't we? Australia. I think we had some people. Yes, Connecticut, England people. Some England, yes. Pat, hello. All right. I think what today I'm going to try and I need to move a little bit quicker than I have in the past. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly, usually I give people a minute to get in here. Karen from Toronto. Hello, Tina. Hello, my friends. I was just thinking, have I been to Toronto?
Have you?
I've been all over. I've done shows all over the place. I was just telling Azalea, I said, we need to get back in there and do some things. But shows are not what they were. They're not the same. They're not the same old they used to be. Where it was like destination where so many people were descending on an area and it was so exciting. And I mean, Tucson is that way. That's why I will go until I can go no more. It was like with Beat and Button. I was like, I will keep coming until it's not here anymore. That's exactly what happened. All right. Azalea, did you get me some giveaways?
Oh, I didn't. I forgot.
So Azalea's going to pick it. Oh, Caroline says, I hope the storms miss you. Oh, gosh. I now when I hear wind, it used to be where I'd be like, oh, I love the sound of the wind. Now I'm like, I'm checking the weather and like, is it going to rain? Is it supposed to be? I don't like it at all now. Thank you. All right, we've got two things because it's a little easier to keep track of when it's the same thing. This one says, life is a rose, beware the thorns. That's the giveaway 1 and 2. So type in gift, and then you can throw your name in there and maybe get it. I will say, if you're not one of our customers and you don't message us, we have no way to get it to you. So you can see the email at the top, email, and we'll decide these at the end. We'll draw, and then it's draw for who's here. So that's what's happening. Oh, hello, Clem, my friend, and hello, Skip and Stone. That's a cute name. Hello, Lori. Hello, Terry. Oh, Terry says there's a gem show with 20 vendors. So small. Well, you know what? The time of going to shows where I travel far to do them, if you've ever done a show, have you ever set up for a bead show or a craft show or art fest, you need a lot of stuff. You can't just, I mean, yes, you can. I've done it where you can roll in with one suitcase and then you're teaching and then you have a small display. But if you're trying to it's really hard if you have a booth fee, like say one of those renegade art festivals. They're a little more money than some of the more local shows. A lot of those are not super expensive, but you have a lower draw. So usually when you have a big draw, it's more money to do it. And you have to have enough to, one of the things that I see people do, like young, or I shouldn't say young, it doesn't matter how old you are, but if you haven't set up a table and you don't know who your customer is and you don't know a lot about it, you might have a sparse offering. And I remember my friend Kevin O'Grady, the glass arts, this is his work. He used to bestow like words of wisdom as a young, bead person. And he'd be like, you need to bring at least half in inventory what you want to sell. So that's good to think about, because if you have like $500 worth on your table, you might sell 250 because you have to people it's the perceived value. And it's true. Whenever you have a lot on your table, I used to roll into Bead and Button when I used to do 2 booth spaces, if you can believe that. That was way back when. Man, the comments just went ahead of me. What was I doing? What was I doing?
You're talking about the giveaway and talking about making jewelry.
Gastonia. Where's Gastonia? That's somewhere around here, isn't it? Hello, Liz. Karen says, I missed the day of bigger shows. It's just not affordable. It's not affordable like it used to be. You used to go there and you could make, like, we used to drive to the Minnesota show before Halloween. It used to be so good. We make so much money. We were so happy and it was so great. Now you do a show and you drive out, you barely make your booth fee because people can order it, and it's that thing where they're like, oh, you got to what? And then you know how many people said to me, do you have a website? And I'm like, I'm here right now and you don't have to pay shipping, weirdo. What are you doing? Although I will say I have been guilty of saying that. And every time I've said it, I will then follow it with saying, I just tapped myself out and I spent my budget. So I can't buy now, but I would like to buy maybe a month from now. That's usually what that's about. The handmade soaps and creams. Yeah, I like that too.
Oh, me too.
Azalea's been working on a cream recipe. She has pretty glowing, youthful, delightful, like young daughter skin. And, but her face gets dry. So we've been using, I know some people are vegan. Sometimes we use tallow. We get it at the French Broad Food Co-op. She's been making one with shea butter.
I haven't made anything with it. I just put that stuff directly on my face.
Well, I made one. Hello, Robin. Nilda, I see a lot of my friends on here. Hello, my friends. Hello, Cherie. Margaret. Hello. Hello, hello. KK. Hello, Angela. I'm going to flip this already. Let's just get started. What else are we doing? All right. All right. Oh, that's from, okay, so this is what I did on Wednesday. You guys remember this? Let me get back to StreamYard.
You need help?
No, I got it. Hello, June. Hello, Connie. Connie's our neighbor in Asheville. I like to say your name, Connie Pasternak. Gotta say it fast. Hello, Melanie. All right, so this is what I made on Wednesday. This is a double strand, and I crimped it right up in here. But you know what I kept doing, like a goofy person, was I had the the pieces of socklets were dangling out this side, and I did not connect them. And then I kept saying, why is it pulling apart? Because I connected it here. I was like, oh, I'm being so goofy right now. So this one is when I was talking about modular necklaces, where it can be a bracelet, or it can be, if you add some more, like you could put leather with it. Ribbon. Pat says, Terry, so sad about the Milwaukee show. Yeah, Ava was trying to bring it back, but it's far to go. I mean, it takes us 2 days to get out there. If you're not going to, I mean, if I lived closer, I would, but it takes, we've got to stop in Cincinnati. It takes time. So you could do this. What you looking at, honey?
I was trying to do something on my phone, but I was contemplating if it would mess it up.
Like, what are you going to do on the phone?
I needed to mute it and do some stuff real quick. Just click, just a button.
She's doing something, so prepare yourselves.
I can just switch the camera back for just 1 second.
You guys probably are noticing that, maybe you're noticing that we do not have internet problems right now. We're plugged in directly into the router this time. So hopefully that's a good thing. We didn't have any problems.
Sorry for the interruption.
On Wednesday.
There it is. Sorry. Here you go.
All right. So this is the Tucson Mala Blend. I was thinking about using this, but I wanted to show some of my wax. This stuff is super teeny.
Oh, if you guys want to see what I put on the website today, I'll drop a link to that real quick.
Oh, okay. Oh, hello, Carrie. Uh, I- hello, Wendy. Hello, Robin. So we put some things on there.
Silver and bronze.
Silver and
maybe.
bronze. We were casting like the wind.
And I did about half of it. We'll have even more new stuff for you on Wednesday.
So, all right, let me just give some backstory here. So you know what this is. These are made by my friends Barb and what was his name? Oh man, I just drew a blank. What's his Russell? Barb and Russell from Scattered Light. They actually carved my wedding ring, our wedding rings. So they made this. So Russell is the metal worker. He casts all the stuff. I have a bunch of stuff that he's made over the years. I don't have it right here handy, but I brought these to show. So this is a stick that he cast. And there's another, it was bronze and then the silver wire around. It's a kind of a decorative wire work. So I found these over at Biltmore when we were walking around with Joanne, and they actually opened up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but the bud was pretty tight, like a little pine cone, and it made this beautiful kind of, I don't know what kind of shape. I mean, it's kind of like a lotus shape a little bit, like closed up. And we're gonna cast that. Actually, I'm gonna make a silicone mold so I don't have to worry about trying to cast it. Hopefully it doesn't rip this part out. You see it's kind of hollow right there. So that's one thing. I want to make more of these found object type castings. Hello, Nancy. Oh, Carolyn says I caught some of Isaiah's crepe paper flower making. I wonder if some fabrics may work. I think so. It's just a different process. All right, so that's one thing. Let me see if I can show some of the other. This one is I'm particularly happy. Okay, you guys know I can't get enough of frogs. So this one is super small, itty bitty. Look how little it is. And I made it to go like, okay, pretend like this is one of my treasure necklaces. So I made it to go and fit in here like that. You see what I mean? You just picture it in silver or gold. And, I'm thinking of what I'm going to do with that gold. I'm going to try and get in there and zoom because it's really hard to see. So give me a second here. Here, now we can see his little feet. All right. There was a gal that made, isn't this so cute? Look at him, he's holding the ring. And then his little face. Okay, that's one of them. And here's a close-up of that thing so you can see the look of it. Isn't that going to be pretty as an earring? Maybe this I might have to go in there and make it less, bulky. It's a little bulky. Okay, then look at this. You might like this. Isn't that cute? This I've reworked it, so it's not going to look like this. This is just the beginning. See, it still has I'm not done with it, but I'm going to finish it. It's on my things to do. And then this, I reworked it again. This was the oxalotl. Now it's a salamander because it looked cuter as a salamander, I think. Look at the twisty of his little slick body. That's going to be cute. See, it's going to be a button you can attach from this tail point. That'll be good. And then here's going to be a little button for crochet necklaces. You're going to picture it. Here's one I made for my friend. You just have to picture it. Picture it. Sicily. Every time I say that, I think of Golden Girls. Remember when Max had that fixation with that show for a while? It's pretty cute.
He comes in and out of.
Yeah. Sometimes he can't get enough Golden Girls, and then he wants to watch that show with Balky, Perfect Strangers. And then here's a bigger one.
Child with that taste in TV.
He's got my taste in TV. Because I loved Perfect Strangers when I was a kid. Balky was always like the one that was like pure and true, and Gary Appleton was always making the wrong decision, lying. So this is going to be a button. It's going to have two holes right there, but you can imagine it like maybe like this. So it's kind of has that, it's like keeping up with that pixie look. And then look at this. Look at this. I'm really particular. because I don't have enough stuff with sphinxes on it, I think I have a few pieces. I have one that says, "The final mystery is oneself." It's an Oscar Wilde quote, and it's on a kind of a square bead. But this one, this is kind of like my coin. Worked on that. Need to work on the bail, so that'll be good for you know how I like to use buttons as fixtures. You can picture it. So it'll look good. And then what's the last one? This is the one I'm the most happy with. This is the one I can't wait. So check it out. You don't have to be a Floridian to love gators now. There's a little bit of as I look at it with that, I see some crumbs on it that I need to get. I'll go after it with a toothbrush. I want to cast this one. Remember how I bought that gold? So I still haven't made anything with it, but I think this is small enough where I could make, this would look good, I think, but it might be heavy. Oh, almost lost it. Look at his little face. That would be cute. I think it'll be nice. Anyway, that's what I worked on. All that can fit in one of these. All that hours of labor. You would not believe how many hours that took. I used to put kits in these. Now I can't get these anymore. It was from a place called, I want to say AMAC or something. But I used to get these from my kits. Anyway, let's see what we're doing. I'm going to back out here, getting a little close. That's pretty close. That's close. All right. So I brought out this leather because I thought, hey, we were talking about leather and putting, using it as a connector. There's a couple ways you can do it. You can do a fold over. You should cut a slit and use it for a button. Let me see where I have some buttons. This is we just loaded these up onto the trunk show. I have two of them. These little barnacle buttons. Isn't that cute? But this would be a good one for, oh, thank you, my friends. I see nice comments. Thank you, June. June says, nice looking gator. Melanie says, that gator is so cute. Thank you. Thank you, guys. So this one is the little barnacle. It's kind of chunky. I don't know what the price of it is. Azalea, I don't know if she remembers. I don't have the things up there. But can we drop the link of that again? Can I? I just hit paste or something?
Yeah, it should be on the clipboard.
Yeah. All right.
Just right click on the part where it says to enter a comment and click paste and then send.
Okay, I hit that again just so you guys can see it if you're interested. So this is one of the items. This would work. So you could do it where you sew it on one side. You only have one barnacle. Oh, it's 12. Thank you, Pat. Yeah, this one's one that.
There's only one. That means
someone must have bought the other one.
Mm-hmm.
So that look, I know, isn't so cute. So perfect for beachy. I've made jewelry for wedding jewelry with this because it's kind of small now. And I've made double-stranded thread necklaces, and now this is a perfect one for that. Yeah, actually, there were 3, and there's now 1. This would work. This is also in there. Look how pretty this one is. I think there's only one of this one, too. One, maybe. It looks good, particularly in bronze. So if I wanted to, I could make, you could do a wider strap. So I'm deciding now. I have so much leather. I just cut a few pieces. If I cut this one off because I like the color, it's kind of on my screen it looks gray, but in my eyes now it's a greenish olive, like a dark olive. And this I think works with this color palette. So that's why I picked that. Now I want to make a mixed media bracelet using this and this. So I'm shopping around in my stuff now to pick out a clasp for it. So far we've seen this. Let's see what else I have. I don't know if this is going to be sticking around. As soon as I post these, they're usually gone. This is a V clasp that my bestie from college made this. We were friends for 20 years, over 20 years. We were buddies. And this was one she made for me. There's her little signature, Jessica Weasel. Yeah, this is one of my favorite pieces. We did trade back in the day. Like she would carve for me and I would carve something nice for her, like a miniature or something, because she was a miniaturist and we did the Tom Bishop shows in Chicago together. Right, 10 years ago. It was a big deal. My miniatures way back when. They were little bronzes. I don't know if there's any up here in my area to show. I'll put them somewhere else. This is one that is a favorite of mine. Look at this little fatty. Isn't that cute? That's like I had a goldfish named Princess Mononoke, and that was her look. She was from Hawaii, from East Coast ranchos. Used to have a ranchu problem. If that could be called such a thing. Hello, Bonnie. A ranchu problem. I did have a ranchu problem. Man, I couldn't get enough. A ranchu is a goldfish that does not have a dorsal fin, so it looks like a little whale or like a little manatee. They're so unbelievably cute. And they've got soft little faces. Sometimes I would let them swim up into my palm and they would just sit there for a second. I imagine my hand is underwater and it would just sit right in my palm and it would wiggle around. It was so adorable. I had to fight the urge to do this. So I shouldn't say. Was she as stabby as Princess Mononoke? No, she was a loving delight. She was a lovely, lovely fish. She had a huge, long princess tail. This would also look good. These are also in bronze. These are on the website. This is one that's perfect for. This is perfect for anybody. Trees are like people love them. For a guy, a gal, no question. Snakes, you might have to find out if someone likes a snake. It's not for everybody, but the people that do like it, they like it because it has kind of a friendly, non-threatening face. Okay, so this stuff is on the trunk show page. I'm not doing lots tonight because we had folks saying, hey, I can only watch replay. So we thought since we have multiples of everything that we didn't need to do lots on this. So if you're interested in any of these, this is on the trunk show page. I've dropped it in the comments section if you'd like to look. This is silver. This is one of our all-time, like our greatest hit of the class because it's like organic. It's works well. Simple, but yet not boring. You could use it. And I've had this one. I've been making this one for a lot of years. Works great. No problems. That's silver. Look at this. This is sweet. It's a little foxy face. It's like my dog Suni. It's got that same, look at that smile. Mischievous. Looking good. Love it.
Pretty charming.
I think this is one that Weasel also carved.
The fox face button?
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember. Maybe. Has kind of a pointy face like she used to draw them.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing some stuff of her. She liked drawing.
This is a silver. Look at how cute this little octopus is. This I got off of the design I saw. It was different though because the things were much longer. They used to put this. It was like on a Mycenaean ship. It was really cool. Saw it at a museum. They used to put them on the bows of their boats. Okay, let's see. This is new. Actually, this is Azalea's collecting. Yeah, don't forget to put the hashtag gift in because right now it's gathering all the names in the comments section. So if you would like to be in the giveaway, which is these two, we're making them the same. So I'm going to give away two of these. So it could be a link. You could dangle something from it. You could put it in between in sections so it can be in the side or it can be a charm. So remember, no spaces, no capital letters or anything. Letter, I was like letters, lizards. What's happening?
What have you been making lately? You've been working on your waxes. We showed that already, didn't we?
I did. I showed my waxes. I'll show something else too. This is coming. This is one that I think I have one. So if you're wondering, we make ones and twosies because I don't want to make like 50 of something. Say I make 50 of this and 50 don't sell, then I have my silver locked up into one piece, just sitting there collecting dust. So that's why we make them in small batch. Like this, I made one. And by I mean Greg. And then this is one of Greg's too. It kind of looks like an elephant a little bit, or on this way. It's kind of a Celtic design, very mysterious.
Well, I have one of those, I think.
There's only one. And then this one's a classic. There's a few of these because anything left over like this size I've been putting on my necklaces. I like this too for that. So these are my choices. I'm not going to use it if it's sold, obviously. Like this one I think is probably going to sell to people like cats. I like cats. All right, so let's talk about this. Oh, I keep moving it. Just stay in there. Make some space. So I'm gonna line this up in case anyone wants it. Look at this thing that Max made for my birthday. I said, make me a rain frog for my pocket. So he made this for me, and look.
Is it that big old fat one?
And eyelids. Look at the eyelids. It's so cute.
Didn't he give it butt cheeks?
Yeah, he did. It's so funny. My son. I'm gonna move these out of the way. Hello, Robin. Late to the party. Thank you for joining us, everyone. All right, I've got this leather. This is my starting point. Actually, this is the starting point with this. So I'm going to take one of these star buns because there's multiple. I have several of them in my own particular, my private stash, which is, yeah. You're like, what's your private stash? This is one of my private stash. I have several.
Brand private style.
Yeah, I know. Folks, don't judge me. It happens. Some would say, hey, isn't your stash big enough? And I'm here to tell you it's never big enough. I can have lots. All right, so I'm going to I was telling Azalea the other day, I said, there's so many things you can do with leather and cord. One thing, I said, hey, what would you do? She said, why don't you make it where you knot? I was like, listen, I've been showing knotting probably too much. So I think what I'll do, even though I showed some soft lips, I don't know. We were talking about it and saying, hey, what's better? So there's a couple things. I have made bracelets where I have beaded along a piece of leather and it's like the background and I've wrapped it. That's a kind of a classic thing. But usually when you're doing that, you have two pieces of leather. That's like this. No, Pat, they weren't all buttons. Some were buttons, some were with little giblets that I carved out of wax and just direct cast. They don't have any molds. They're just little things like I have this squishy wax that's easy to manipulate. It's made out of beeswax, glycerin, and coconut oil. And it's easy to shape it. And then we just put it on the tree and you can see all the fingerprints. It's a really fun way to make a bunch of pieces. We had our friend Kira over the other night and I was like, you're going to love it, but I don't think she loved waxwork. I mean, I like it, but I feel like she did not like it. Oh, I know what I'm missing. I need some kind of cloth or something because my beads are rolling around. Okay, here we go. Where are you? Sorry, I don't want any of the stuff to get lost. Put this. This goes there. All right. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm trying to do something different, but my brain keeps wanting a beaded loop again. You guys are probably so bored with seeing me do a beaded loop. I'm so into it, when you're into some kind of technique, it takes a minute to break through and stop doing it. Oh, thank you, Pat. Such a cool secret stash. I like having a secret stash, all right. All right, so this is going to be my button for this. So what I like to do, you guys have seen me do this a million times, is I make the pile. First, I have this pile here. So if I want to make a necklace or a bracelet, I could do it where, it'd be kind of cool. I wonder if that would fit around my neck. It does, but I just now remembered that I don't like that feeling.
Of a tight necklace?
No, I don't like a tight necklace. All right, so maybe what I'm going to do is this is on the back of the neck. You just have to picture it. This is what I'm thinking of. Got it all figured out. This is going to be the button. I know I keep using that button, but we made a bunch of them, So I might as well put them. I made them for my necklaces because I'm into it right now. I don't know if anybody else is like this, but I'll use the same thing until I'm bored with it. And then I won't use it for a long time. And then I'll come back to it. Oh, Florence is very windy here today. It was windy yesterday. Just trying to ride my bike, getting blown all over Kingdom Come. It's horrendous. This has a little bit of blue and green. You guys can already tell I'm going to do action. Everybody knows what I'm going to do here. You know, what would be extra cool is put these in there. What do you think about that story?
Very nice.
You like that? Sorry. I still have a dusty cough. And I was telling Azalea, I said, I bet it's the Bradford hairs. They're blooming now. They're all over. And boy, do they make me cough and sneeze. But mostly I have it feels like a dry smoker cough. All right. I'm wondering if that looks good. I think so. Let's just do it. That's how I like to play video, or when we're playing board games, we can learn the rules as we play, which is
Annoying.
Yes, it can be. It
sounds like some technique that the person who already knows how to play the game came up with, so they can sneak things in halfway through and then you lose. Sounds like that's the story here.
Maybe. Maybe. That's not how I usually play. We just bought, if there's any board game players out there, we just got Finspan. This is from the gal that created Wingspan to Bird Game for a board game. Pretty fun. Look at that shift. Isn't that pretty? I think it should go this way, though.
I don't know what happened here. Our music just turned off for no reason.
Yeah, maybe try to find one that's less like that. You know how I like it? Sounds like a dusty spaceship. It sounds
Dusty spaceship.
it sounds like you're in space.
Maybe this will be it. Well, you can never tell what it's going to sound like when
Yeah, you're supposed to just get we're trying to play copyright free so we don't get kicked off. You don't want to put anything you're not supposed to have. So again, this is the Tucson Mala. It's kind of like someone said, those, these are rounds. What makes those special? And I was like, listen, girlfriends, these are unique. You cannot just go and find these anywhere. I handpicked these guys out of piles and piles. I found the beads that have the most flash, like these have, if you look at that, there's a little hint. When you wear it, you can see that little splash of, if you look close, this one has like cobalt blue in it. They look like black opals. It's like, what stone? So cool. I'm into it. How pretty that is already. So I could, from this, did you make those pod shapes, says Robin? Yeah, these are the ones that I made as, look, they're just like made out of You could get the same effect with bronze clay. If you don't cast, it's the same thing. This, if you cast it, you can get like a million of them on a tree, which is pretty nice. Some of them don't come out, but it's the only danger. I could do it where it's all in a clump up here, like that. That could be interesting. And then this on the other side. So when I've made these in the past, I've made it where I could take this off and make it into a bracelet. It could function as a bracelet. So what I might do is connect from this point with a little bit of soft flux. I'm going to beat it and go around it. Kathy says, yes, clump. That's a good, yeah, I like a clump. And I might make it where the suede side is out because it's kind of, it has a nice texture. It's nice and thick. It's not super thick, but it's also not like glove leather, which is really, really thin. All right, what do I have sitting here? It's usually whatever's sitting right at my fingertips from the night before. You get these puppies out again. And if I want to make a clump, it's easy. You could do it where, one thing that's cool that I like doing is getting a contrasting thread in like a dark, whatever color this is. So I've got a pink and green thing going on here. I think something that contrasts, like a teal, would be good. Jermaine says, are you using the Mystic Sunset or Sophia's Garden? I think this is Mystic Sunset. This is Mystic Sunset, right, Azoya? Or Mystic Mirage.
That's the one you're playing with right now?
Yeah, I have two of them here.
I call it Mystic Sunset Mirage. It's
Oh, sorry.
Whatever, it doesn't really matter. They know what you're talking about. We don't have any other kits that are named that, so it's fine.
Yeah, maybe the small ones, cause it gives it like a leaf kind of feeling. And maybe it could be like, it would be sweet is a ring right there. I need a big ring. Hey, can you go downstairs and get me a big ring that's on my desk? Not on the kitchen table, I mean. The ones we cast. So that'd be perfect right here. And I can do her dangles. Yeah. One of those rings.
Ring?
No, like the other kind of ring. It's the ones, like those rings. They're sitting on the table.
I have other rings right there.
No.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They're the rings that were for my necklaces, and they're half this size. They're like this. They're small. And they're downstairs, right next to where I live. As though it doesn't want to go downstairs, but I want to show this is the perfect use. This is the perfect use. And then I can dingle dangle them from there. Of course, this ring might work, but I feel like the size is a tiny bit large. Too big? I think it's too big. A little bit big. So just picture that with Kathy says too big. Yeah, it is a little big. It is a little big. So this one will be on this side. You know what I could do? Is I could make it where this is like pinned, so it holds this side like this. Like that, and it connects right here.
Is this it?
Robin says too big with the star. Those are the ones I was talking about, yes. So I made these to go with those necklaces. Y'all remember I'm making those pendants. It's taking me forever to clean out the backs. I showed them to you before, you know what I mean. They're like the big cabochons. All right, let's see how this looks. Okay, we talked about the lunar ring. The lunar one, I think it would be best if I did that and I went like this and then had stuff hanging from it like that. You could hang from that. Just like this. All right, so this is out. We'll try this. So these are the, I showed you guys the sticks that went with it. So I made these components to go with those necklaces I'm finishing up. They're my, I think of them as like my fine art necklaces because it's all like handwork. And maybe there's two sizes. One is a little bit bigger, and one's a little bit smaller. So let's see. I think the bigger one. All right, let's see. And then let's see. There could be like these guys attached with a jump ring. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Let's do it. See how fast I can do it. Challenge accepted. I can see the time check here. Oh, Melanie says, I love my stick hoop I got from you the lot sale. Love it. Oh, good. Maybe you might, I'll put some of these because I made extra for the necklaces. They're just a ton of handwork of grinding. What am I trying to say here? Let me just show it. So when I'm making these pendants, this is one of them. So this is a quartz crystal. I got this from JTV actually. They had this huge like dumpster full. When I say dumpster, it's not a dumpster, it's like those plastic dumpsters. But when you carve it out of wax, you dip your stone. But occasionally, like here, I managed to do it where it fits just right. I did not close the loops though. So it could be like this. And you get both sides. It's a way to mount it where you don't, your prongs are decorative. So it's rose cut on the back and flat table on this side. So I made more of this style and I was going to make them with a chain of links with gemstones in between. But the problem I have now is I have to go in and the stones that I have, the setting shrank. So I have to go in and clean out the interior so the stone will fit again. So that's where I'm at with that. And that's what I mean with hand work. Like I literally have to sit there with a Fordham and drill it out. All right. So I'm going to put a crimp on here. Melanie says, post those babies. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like that little setting. Yeah, I made a bunch of these. You know what I did? I found this dude in Indonesia who it's one of those times where you're in Tucson, you meet people and you're like, hey, I think these might be a bit, just go use them. I was like, they kind of look a little bit big. Maybe I'll get the smaller ones. Kathy says, love those links. You know, I think they're good. Very good. They came out good anyway. I'm happy with them. All right, I'm going to make I'm probably going to put like an inch of these. You know, I have a bunch of sweet seed beads, but right now I'm really into these. So I usually just grab like in ½ inch or a quarter of an inch and just slide them on through. Sometimes you can just do this thing where you pick them up. Could use these little opals. That might be cute. I have all these little gemstones that I bought just for this thing, but these are so conveniently located right at my fingers that the other stuff that I found. So I got these. Bought a ton of these. Ugh, they're all tangled up. Dang it. I'd show you, but they're tangled. Yeah, the other settings, the ones for those gemstones, were probably some of my best work. And I don't know how well they'll sell because I was showing our friend Terry of Scarlet Fire, and she was like, "Are you going to cast it?" And I was like, "It's already cast." She's like, "How are you going to put more?" And I was like, "This is it."
What is she talking about?
Because I made one, because the stones that I have are not calibrated. They're not like this stone was calibrated, meaning I can get more of this stone. It's like a 10 by 12 or something. I don't know exactly what it is. But the ones that I have are like gem show type where someone made the casting, or I mean the they carved it, the cabochon. So it's a one-off. It's not calibrated. There's not a lot of them to be had. So if you have that, then you cannot really. Let me put my glasses on. Can you find my glasses?
Where?
Oh no, they're on my desk. I see them. Carolyn says, I like the look of the leather with the gemstones. I do too. It's a very, this would be a good one for
Oh, sorry.
a Sundance inspired. So I wonder, I kind of felt a tiny bit guilty because I was sitting there thinking about it. I'm like, they don't do the jewelry catalog anymore. And I was like, I hope it's not because of our like we're showing people how to make this stuff for not $500.
It's still a bombastic thing to ask.
Well, I don't know. If they can get it, then all that's good,
I guess.
It's good that somebody's getting what kind of. I don't know. I try not to price it for me. I price it for like like if I had Sundance. Sometimes my different customers will, there's people out there that will value it. I buy jewelry. All right. I'm wearing a necklace that I got in Fresno. It's my latest piece from Alice. Alice made it. This is the newest piece of jewelry. I just bought this in Fresno. Is this beautiful? So I buy jewelry from different bead artists. Sometimes I can't afford everything I like, but I will definitely support other makers. I love this. If you're out there watching, I still love this and I wear it all the time. And if you want to drop your info, you are welcome to do so. You can put that back on. Love this necklace. It's a great layering piece. And it also employs a lot of the ideas of texture and color. Okay, so I think I want to give myself extra. I don't like to, even though it's only this many beads, I'm going to put extra because, I might want to do one of these. One thing I've learned over the years is don't be too stingy with your soft lux, even though you're like, okay, it's kind of a luxury material, especially the ones that are sterling coated or gold color. You do not want to, your time is worth something, so you don't want to do it where you're like, you make it hard for yourself because you cut it too small, and then you have to go back and you end up wasting it anyway, just to save an inch. So at this point, I can put another bead on this to cover it. Let's see, I'll probably just go ahead. I love these. Aren't these pretty? It's natural, not dyed. I mean, I do have some dyed beads that I really like, but I have not offered those in our collections. Just as, I like to say they're natural. I don't want to say it's dyed. I am particularly enamored with these guys. They're green, but they're also clear. It's like they have a little tiny world inside. They're quite beautiful. It's like moss, little tiny landscapes. Pat says, like custom to that particular stone. Yes, that's what that means. If it is not calibrated, then it's harder to make a setting. You kind of just have to make a setting for that stone. Yeah, this is a particularly good one. Look at that one. Yeah, that's natural. It just glows with that little spot of blue and green. So mysterious. And I love these particularly. I looked high and low. This is called gem lepidolite. It's different from regular lepidolite, which is kind of looks like it's compressed sugar. It's pretty soft. This is a different one. I thought it was rhodochrosite, but this has some translucence and clear parts. and it was called, I think they called it cherry quartz, not cherry quartz. It had a different name, a different trade name. And what I've discovered is that you can name a stone whatever you feel like. Because I've hunted around and I'm like, what is this stone? Doesn't really matter. Because it might be just, they have those, it's called a trade name. Like the name like lapis or whatever is like the stone it's known for. But if there's a mix, if you have something that has kind of a mixed color, they can name it whatever they want. Kind of like because it's a new stone almost. Well, not new, but they want it a little bit longer. Maybe a little bit longer. In theory, it could be 2, but I'm loving the way that is looking right now. Carolyn said that's a lot of gemmy beads in the Gemstone Sunset Mirage kit. It is, because if you think about it, some of these specimen strands will be like $50 for one strand. Like these guys, you only ever saw them in a bracelet. Like that was the one and only time I saw them in a strand, and I didn't get a lot because it was not cheap. But and the same thing with this. I was like, what is this? Because if you look close, it's a little bit clear. It's like smoky quartz mixed with these pops of magenta. They're just delightful. And some of this, look at how good of this picture, Jasper. It's so small, but they have a lot of details. I kept 2 of this kit. It's okay. Azalea said it was okay. I had a question. Someone was like, how come you don't tell how many of these are in there and how much they cost, like Sam's beads? And I said, well, one, the cost of this kit, I try to make it where you're paying for, I want to jam pack as many gemstones in there as possible. And that's where the cost is. I'm trying to boost the amount that the value you're getting, not so much in the labor. Because you have to, the labor of sitting there, counting these out, putting bagging them up in tiny, small bags, to me, is going to drive the total cost up. And it turns out people don't want to work for free. And that's kind of weird. Like I can't get these guys to, like I could say, hey, Zoe, you want to invite your friends over and bag some beads for me? But they gone are the days where you could say, hey, you do this and I'll bake you some cookies. Like when you were a child, remember those days, Zoe, when you would go work at Scamps, the chocolate shop? You'd go over there and you'd work for treats.
Yeah. Well, that was good times, though.
Good times. Okay, don't make the mistake. I got to put this link. You see that I almost closed that up, just like I was new or something. All right, this is looking pretty good, I think. I'm backtracking because I don't like the beads to come poke me later. When I'm making necklaces, I make them for me, all of them. So if I'm stuck with them, if you don't sell it, I'm not going to be sitting there sad and like, oh, I have to wear this gorgeous piece of jewelry now. Shoot. That's not happening. It's usually like, oh, well, guess this one's mine. Get on that neck of mine. It's going to happen. Oh, thank you, Carolyn. She says, I like the gem mixes you make. I ordered the water lily one.
Well, thank you. I like the water lily. That's one of my recent.
Yes, it's one of my favorites. So anyway, when say you get a bead mix, the question I got was, how are you supposed to figure out how much to charge? Okay, this is actually simple, because if you make, what you do is you look at the price. So say I think this is $84, which is fantastic because there's like 7 to 10 different types of beads. I didn't count that, but I know that there's a lot of mix in there. And I know that buying the strands individually would cost several $100s. So what you do is I just provided the calculator.
I knew this was coming.
As I do it while I'm stringing this, so I don't lose time tapping the calculator. You can tell it well. So if you have it, here's what you do. you take the amount that your material. So this is $84. How many pieces are you going to be able to get out of that? I think you could get probably how many bracelets? Look, so I've already used this. So you figure out how many pieces you made from it. You know how much you spent on them. Then you figure out how much you spent on your other findings. Say you have a clasp, your soft flex or leather or whatever. This is the tricky part. So I'm gonna have to be quiet now. Just a second. Lizelle, you can talk while I do this one little thing, putting this clasp on there. Crimp, I mean.
So what Mom means to say is you take your cost, you divide it by how many items of jewelry, and then you can, to price it, you can take that small number and multiply it by, say, 3 or, 2.5 at least, So let's say you make 3 bracelets, 84 divided by 3 equals 28 times 3. Or no, because then it would be 84 again. Well, yeah, that actually makes sense, because if that's how many beads you're using. I'm not as good as describing it as she is. I'm just.
You've got it. So you just really what you're trying to do is you divide it up. You have your dividing of the multiplying part is factoring in your time. So you can factor in that time. So what I'm doing here is I'm weaving back through. Let me get it before I cut it. So that's what that means. So you want to take the amount of stuff that's in it and then factor in how much time. Sometimes if you go 2.5, that should cover it, but 3 will make sure you've got like your extra little findings. And that's how you would do that math for that. So you don't have to know that this is, you could count all the beads. That's another way. You count every single bead and then divide that. Then you know how much you spent per bead, and you can write that down in the book, which is usually what I do for my finished work. I have like in these little tins here. Here's an example of that. Oh shoot, this one doesn't have it. But usually I have a little piece of paper in there with how much the strand was and then how many beads. So then I know how much this is. So you have some of that figured out. But sometimes you don't. Like I have several kits that I bought from other people that I don't know how much each individual bead is. You just divide the amount that's in the tin. Or how many, you don't even have to count it. You can just say, I made 4 bracelets, or I made 5 pairs of earrings or whatever. All right, I'm almost done with this. So I could cut that thinner. So here's what I have so far. Terry says there are a ton of projects in that tin. Yeah, when you factor in, when you take a bead off a strand, look at a strand. If anyone has ever done that, you know that it's going to look a lot smaller in the tin. That's just how it is. So I have a choice here. I can permanently attach this so it doesn't come undone, right? Or I could attach this so I can make it convertible. So I just have to attach it there and it can be attached like this. So that means this strap can be removable. Let's see if this would actually work as a bracelet. Well, I can't now because I put this on there. But if you were to make it, you could do this side, just like I did with that other piece. I forgot to trim that. Boy, I hate it when I leave a gap. That drives me crazy. Even though I did this where it's tight, sometimes I will get like a millimeter worth of wiggle. And the way you could go about hiding that is taking one of those tie beads, because they're sometimes halved. What happened here? You know what I did wrong? So here's a learning moment. So when I clasped this bead, or when I flattened this crimp, I actually flattened the wrong thing. I didn't even flatten the crimp. I flattened the metal bead. So don't do like me. Actually flatten the crimp. Don't flatten your metal beads. So that was like, why is this so loose? That's because it didn't crimp. I crimped the wrong bead. If that had been a glass bead, then that would have just busted. I was like, how was that happening? So now I've got to go back in here and find the end and pull it and then re-crimp it. I'll do that in a minute because we're coming down to the hour mark and I want to make this look good before we So the next thing here is I have these and I can add them to this. I think that'll look really pretty. Oh, that's driving me kind of crazy. Let me see if I can. I want to fix it, but I don't see how I'm going to do that right now. So I could use jump rings. Let me see if I have some. Or I can use more wire. That's an easy thing. One thing I like to do is do wire wrap gemstones, which could be cute. Yeah, Terry says, I have started adding price per bead when I put my beads into organizers. That is a good way to do it. And anymore, I know that it's going to be averages. So I don't have to do that quite as much. But it's a good way to figure out exactly how much. So if you're making some high dollar gemstones, I have some that are very expensive where each bead's like $5. And you don't think that's expensive, but when a bead's like this, and it's a little sapphire and it costs $5, you're gonna want to take note so you don't undercharge for it, because then you can't afford to buy more beads because you're not getting your money for your project. All right, it's down to, don't forget, you guys, hashtag this before it's time for us to say goodbye for the evening. So don't forget, hashtag gift, no spaces, no other upper or no uppercase. Yeah, I've just been sitting here looking at this going, man. All right, I need some wire, plain wire, because I think what I'm going to do, I like that green. I think that looks good with this pink. Or I could go. So what I'm thinking is to put a piece of wire through and loop through and have that sit like this. And then maybe this one goes directly. Yeah, if it had been crimped, I'm going to go back and re-crimp it, because what I did was I accidentally flattened this, and I'm going to have to repair it because I couldn't see it. Well, I thought I could see it, but it just didn't. It opened and I crimped the wrong thing. So I'm going to have to go back and repair it. And how you do that is you just go back, pull all this off, and then put a fresh crimp because it's flattened. So I think wire would be good here, like this, and attaching it with this. Like I'm going to attach that. Maybe I'll do that. I can finish that up on Wednesday, but or I'll finish it up tonight and then I'll take a picture of it. I think it looks pretty good so far. What do y'all think? I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, current covers definitely can take up some of that space for sure. I can do that easily. And another thing that maybe I'll show this one too, because one that I like to do pretty frequently is the messy wrap. And the messy wrap is fun because you could put beads on it and then wrap. And it looks very intentional, but it gives it that kind of wabi-sabi feeling. All right. How will I attach the leather? Well, there's a couple different ways you could do that. You can sew it. You can wire wrap it. I was thinking of doing this and then doing some silver wire, but you make a hole and it's almost like you can like a buttonhole. You put two holes and then a couple of rounds and you can add the button. So it's like a wrap. Or you could do wrap with a contrasting color of nylon. It would be softer than the wire and it would have more fluid. It would feel like more fluid and not have wire. So, and I think I like that idea. And it also comes in color. So I could do like I could pick up this color in this material and wrap it like a bunch of times all the way around. And then it could be like a little spot of a pop of color that I could put in there. Probably not this color. And I'm thinking maybe I have a nice, like this teal would be good right here. Like this teal. Now I'm calling it teal. It doesn't look teal on the camera. It looks more cobalt. Yeah, I don't know. But you can see how that would be. You just wrap it a bunch of times, but you still have to anchor it with 2 holes poked in it. Let me see if I can do that right now. I have a hole puncher. This works pretty well. I use it for metal. Boy, it's chewed up. Okay, so you can punch it. You could do 2 holes. Sometimes I like to do 2. Sometimes I'll just do 1. It just needs to be anchored. There's 2. Can't even see it. But since this is already attached, I'm going to have to clean this up. I don't know what I was doing. It's kind of unusual necklace making. Who knows what was happening there. But all you have to do then is, so I have the 2 buttons. You can see the punch on this side. You can see it there. As you go in and out a couple times and then wrap all the way around. You could add the button or you can add more beads. I'm going to add this button to it. Yeah, this could be yarn. This could be silk. This doesn't have to be leather. It could be even more beads. So this is a good, just comfortable way to make the necklace. All right. Yeah, and I think adding those to that little area, you could even add more to this. And if you want to be really fancy, you could go and add some to this side from, like on the wrap, you know, where you're going to wrap it. You could add one there or down here. The power of a jumper ring, or in a messy wrap right at the bottom right here. That could be cute. Maybe another one on this side like that. So all the action is not happening here. There's some of it over here too. Maybe even a small one connecting these two. With this type of style of necklace, you could just keep building. And to add, you could even add, one thing I've done is if there is a gap, sometimes you have to add the gap, but since there's already a little bit of play between here and here, and we'll just for sure this side, because it needs to be redone. But you could then add another jumper ring or another crimp, add it right here and do like several lines, maybe even chain. There's a lot of potential. A lot of fun ways to connect. It doesn't have to be solid beads. You know, you don't have to use up all your whole collection to make a nice, like, fun necklace that's not too heavy. You could have, like, some of the weight on your neck is leather or cord. All right, it's a little bit after like an hour, so let's do the drawing. What do you think, little daughter?
Okay. Sorry, I'm locked in.
Don't forget, this time we did not do all the silver and the bronze that's in tonight's live that we showed is on the website. It's in the trunk show area where we have placed everything we've uploaded. Let's see who's the winner tonight, our first winner. Sandy.
Sandy Graves.
Sandy, that's 3 wins.
Sandy,
got the luck.
That's
of
crazy.
That's the
luck. 3rd time you won a giveaway this month. That is bombastic.
All right, that's some serious good luck. All right, let's do it again. Sandy, you need to go play the lotto.
I know, seriously. Get a ticket now.
While this kind of luck is happening.
I know. Deborah! Yay! You guys won those. Where are they?
They're right here at the top.
Nice. Very good.
Nice. Is everybody here? I didn't see if everybody's here. Give me a here. This is the awkward moment where we all stand around.
I know. Well, you can stand here by yourself.
Oh, thank you. You know what I just noticed was the frog that Max made is just like the frog I had my friend Leanne made for me. Look at how close this is. And he never saw this before. Isn't that funny? This was made by my friend Leanne. Can't think her last name right off the bat. But anyway, she made this. I got this at Bead and Button from her a long time ago. It's cast in Shibuichi. It's hollow, but I just keep it's a very heavy piece. Isn't that funny? That's what Max made. I'm gonna flip this camera out. Okay, how do I get rid of the split screen?
Just click the stop sharing button at the bottom of the screen.
Stop screen?
Stop sharing.
I don't see stop sharing. What was it?
It's I guess it did say stop screen. They must have changed it because forever it said stop sharing. It doesn't make any sense to say stop screen, but anyway, they'd just be making useless changes, I guess.
Being different.
I know.
All right, my friends. All right. Thank you for joining us on this wonderful Sunday evening. Hopefully, you had some fun watching me create on the fly. Of course, I didn't finish it. Finish it later on this evening. I'm also getting a little course that's part of it. All right, my friends. We had a good time. I hope you did too. We have another live planned for this upcoming Wednesday. So we will see you then. All right, my friends, we love you out there. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.